Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Talking Money with Pete. In these videos, I go through and describe a lot of general financial concepts, and I use a lot of pictures and analogies that clients have went through and found useful in the past. So today, we're going to be going through and talking about one of salary packaging's best kept secrets, an associate lease. What is it? How does it work? We'll go through and we'll get stuck in just a second. But this video is going to go through and assume that you've already seen the novated lease video or have some good understanding of how salary packaging leases work already. So if you haven't seen that video, click up in the link above. Otherwise, let's go through and get stuck in. So guys, today we're going to be going through and talking about one of salary packaging's best kept secrets, associate leases. So hopefully by now you've went through and you've watched the other video. And so I'm going to jump straight in and have a little bit of assumed knowledge. And so when we're going through and we're talking about the differences between an associate lease and a novated lease of what is an associate lease, it's pretty much the same as a novated lease with some slight differences. So you're still going to have to work for an employer that's eligible to go through and offer it. And so there's you there, and then there's the bubble, which is the administration company that administrates the benefits your employer is eligible to and chooses to pass on to their employees. So the whole concept of salary packaging, still bringing money around the tax man, and so putting money into this account legally because of who you work for. And then with the associate lease, it's exactly the same as the novated lease in terms of the running costs, which is the best part of it. So all of the fuel, the rego, the insurance, maintenance, and tyres, all those sorts of things, you get to go through it and you get to bring money around for. Now in the novated lease example, so think of novated for new, associate for a car you already own. So that in the novated example, you would have a financier where you pay finance repayments. Here sits an associate that serves the same function as what a financier would do. So with an associate lease, the idea is the ATO's view on it basically is you're only entitled to these benefits while you work for an employer that's eligible to offer them to you. And so that's why you've got to go through and lease the car. You can't be seen to be owning the car because when you leave this employer, you're seen to be taking a taxable benefit away from them. But if you lease the car, then you fit right back in. So it doesn't matter what type of finance you use. In this case, finance through an associate. So a common example I generally run through with a lot of people when I'm talking to them about this is you're going through and you're going to fly down to Sydney today. And when you get to Sydney, you're going to hire a car from a car hire company. And I say, now when you lease that car from that car hire company, do you know if they've got finance on it? And they say, no. Do you care? Not really. Same sort of thing here. So when you're leasing the car from your associate, which is a pretty broad definition from the ATO, most of the time it's a spouse or a family member. When you lease the car from them, the main reason you're doing it is to save tax on all of these running costs. And where it gets even better is that with the ECM method, which is what you can use to go through and package it. See, the government's nice, but they're not that nice. So they make you put a bit of money through the tax man. So this amount is called a post-tax contribution. And so that's really not of any benefit to you. It's still the same tax, same as what you'd be doing previously. The main benefit is everything you get to bring around the tax man. So the amount that you put through the tax man is determined by the value of the car. It's designed so you don't get a big expensive BMW and then sit in the garage. Now, a lot of older cars that don't have finance on them, so they're not new cars with novated leases, older cars tend to be depreciated a little bit, so they're worth a little bit less. And so what that means is with this amount being determined by the value of the car, the lower value of the car, you have to put less through the tax man and you get to bring more money around. So they tend to be pretty beneficial. And then the whole purpose of it is to go through and save tax in all this. But there's a catch. So the associate is going to go through, and if you own the car outright, really doesn't matter whether your associate owns the car or has finance on the car, but they're now leasing to you. So they need an ABN. Most of the time the administrator can help you set up an ABN. We've got a fantastic team in our office that can go through and help you set up an ABN. But they're going to go through and they're going to lease the car to you. So they're making a profit. They need to be making a profit. That's part of the ATO's definition of how this works. So they're going to go through and pay a little bit of tax. So you might be sitting there going, well, what if they earn more than me? So If they earn more than you, it really doesn't matter. They may even be in a higher tax bracket. But once again, you want to go through and get personal advice. I'm just trying to stick to the concept here. But let's say they even earn more and they're in a higher bracket. They're going to pay tax on that, which you're saving on. But then you're also going to save on this and this and this and this and this, which is why it generally works out better. So that's the biggest difference between the novated and associate. Novated for new cars, they generally have finance. Associate lease for a car you already own. Now, this associate leases, the reason they're the best kept secret is because everybody always pushes the novated leases because there's money in it. There's cars to sell and there's finance to sell. There's no cars to sell you here because you already own your car, and there's no finance to sell you because you've already got finance on it. So it's a really good tool for employers, and the reason employers get people in to go through and do it is because it's a really good employee retention tool. But if you're already working at that company, you may as well take up the benefits of the company you work for. So a big thing is just to go through and say to your company, A, am I eligible? Does our company offer this? Or does our level of government offer this? And B, if not, why? Hey guys, hope you found that video interesting and useful as well. If you're interested in whether this applies to you or your company, or whether you can or can't do this, we've got a fantastic team that can go through and A, give you advice, and B, help you go through and contact your employer to see whether it's something you're eligible to go through and do, or your employer's eligible to go through and offer. The number should be popping up below. But yeah, we've got a fantastic team, and we can go through and give you a complimentary appointment for it. We're making a lot more videos like this. This is probably one of the last salary packaging videos we'll be doing for a while, but we've just went through and done a string of salary packaging videos, but we'll be moving on to some other topics. But you're always welcome to go through and comment with some topics if you want them particularly. Otherwise, we'll see you in future videos.